Today we are going to discuss the Lawrence coat of arms. But before we get started, we wanted to let you know that we offer genealogy research service at our website. Please visit us at coadb.com. We're going to go through a lot of these arms, so we're going to go fast. Some of them are very similar in the beginning, they just have different crests. First one to discuss, Lawrence of Ashton Hall in Lancashire, England. They descended supposedly from Sir Robert Lawrence of Ashton Hall, who was granted arms in 1191. He was knighted by King Richard, and it looks like he distinguished himself at the siege of Acre, however you say that. Next we have Lawrence of Washington in the same county. There was James Lawrence of Washington and Sedgwick, who was the grandson of Sir Robert. It looks like he had sons who continued the line. One member was Sir James Lawrence, who was knighted in 1482 and owned Ashton, Stodday, Heysham, Middleton, Carnforth, Scotforth, and Crag House, along with other farms. There's also Lawrence of Tisbury in Wiltshire. The progenitor was Henry Laurence, who was brother of Sir Oliver Lawrence, who had died in 1559, and also born by the Lawrences of St. James in County Suffolk. Here we see Ashton Hall. Next, same coat of arms with a different crest for Lawrence of Sevenhampton Manor, with several members of the family there. And then there is a Lawrence of Creech Grange in Dorset. Sir Oliver Lawrence purchased the manor of Creech Grange in 1540 and had grandson Sir Edward Lawrence, who had son Edward Lawrence, who died in 1646. Here we see Creech Grange. Another for Lawrence of Sandywell Park in Gloucester. Walter Lawrence, Esquire, assumed the names and arms of Lawrence in lieu of his patronymic Morris by desire of his maternal grandfather, Walter Lawrence, Esquire of Sevenhampton. And it looks like he had a son named Christian William Lawrence, who was Justice of the Peace. And here we see Sandywell Park. Next, Lawrence of Iver in Buckingham and St. Ives in County Huntingdon, both baronetcies. A baronetcy was essentially a hereditary knighthood that was passed from father to eldest son. And it looks like Lawrence baronetcy of Iver was created in the baronetage of England for 1628 for Sir John Lawrence, and the title became extinct in 1714. Lawrence baronetcy of St. Ives was created in the baronetage of England in 1748 for Sir Edward Lawrence, Esquire, eldest son of Reverend Paul Lawrence, rector of Tangemere and Sussex. Here we see Loseby Hall. Next, Lawrence of Fairfield, Jamaica. John Lawrence settled in Jamaica in 1676 and was a younger son of Henry Lawrence of St. Ives. There was also James Lawrence of Fairfield, who died in 1756. And then two branches who descended from them, Lawrence of Cowsfield House in Wiltshire. That was George Lawrence, who died in 1861. And Lawrence of Mossley Hill in Lancashire. Charles Lawrence, born 1776, was a Liverpool merchant who served as mayor. And it looks like the family moved to Mossley Hill around the year 1839. Richard Lawrence, Esquire of Foxcote, County Gloucester, granted 1598, son and heir of Richard Lawrence of the same place. Lawrence of Foxhall in Gloucester. Lawrence of Seaborough in Dorset. John Lawrence, alive in 1634, was an apothecary in London, the fifth son of Thomas Lawrence of Seaborough, who was son of Robert Lawrence of Seaborough, and John himself had several issues. Lawrence of Shirtington in Gloucester. William Lawrence, son of William Lawrence, both of Shirtington, who was son of Robert Lawrence of Shipton, who died in 1584. Lawrence of Delafield, Chertsey, and Chelsea in Middlesex. Sir John Lawrence, merchant of London, was created baronet in 1628 and lived in Chelsea as well as Delaford. was the son of Thomas Lawrence of London and Chelsea, who was a goldsmith who died in 1593. Lawrence of London, Simon Lawrence, alive in the year 1634, was a merchant and alderman and son of Simon Lawrence, merchants. And Simon had issue Nicholas, Simon, Richard, Thomas, John, and Mary. The Lawrence baronetcy of Lucknow was created in the Baronet of the United Kingdom in 1858 for Sir Alexander Hutchinson Lawrence. And the title was in honor of his father, Brigadier General Sir Henry Montgomery Lawrence, who died at the siege of Lucknow in 1857 and was the son of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander William Lawrence, who was born in Londonderry. Coat of arms of Baron Lawrence of the Punjab and of Greatley in the county of Southampton. A title created in the Peerage of the United Kingdom in 1869 for Sir John Lawrence, who was already a baronet. He was former Viceroy of India. And here we see his photograph. Next is Lawrence of Ealing Park in Middlesex. The Lawrence baronetcy of Ealing Park was created in the Baronet of the United Kingdom in 1867 for Sir William Lawrence, seen here. Sergeant Surgeon to Queen Victoria and President of the Royal College of Surgeons of London. Lawrence of Westbourne Terrace in Middlesex. The Lawrence baronetcy of Westbourne Terrace was created in the Baronet of the United Kingdom in 1869 for Sir James Clark Lawrence. He was Lord Mayor of London and represented Lambeth in the House of Commons. Coat of arms of Robert John Cruise Lawrence, Esquire of Montague Square in the parish of St. Mary-le-Bon in London. How do you say that? And it looks like he died in 1833 in Pisa, Italy. Lawrence of London again. John Lawrence, alderman, and his brothers, Abraham and Richard Lawrence, sons of Abraham Lawrence, granted in 1652 and confirmed in 1664. Lawrence of Scotland. Wasn't able to ascertain any additional information on this. If you know, please let us know in the comments. Laurence of Dorset and Winchester in Hampshire. William Laurence of Winchester, alive in 1634, son of Gilbert Laurence and son of Thomas Laurence of Dorset. Laurence of Devonshire, which is Checky Or and Azure on a Ben Gules, 3 Escallops Argent. Laurence of Studley Park in County Yorkshire, England. Elizabeth Sophia Lawrence, born 1761, lived here and was the daughter of William Lawrence, a member of Parliament for Ripon, and he was the son of Thomas Lawrence, captain in the Royal Navy. Here we see Studley Park. Lawrence of Lisragan in County Galway, Ireland. Walter Lawrence, Esquire. He was son of John Lawrence of Ballymore, who acquired the estate in the year 1676. Lawrence of Ireland. Wasn't able to find any additional information on this one. Lawrence of Cirencester and Gloucester. It was born by William Lawrence, Esquire, alive in the year 1825. Matthew Lawrence, who died in 1653, was a public preacher of Ipswich in County Suffolk, England. Another for a Lawrence who married into the Getting family in the 16th century. Another I wasn't able to find, sable of chevron between 3 broken swords argent on a cheap embattled the second as many martlets gules. Lawrence of West Stocklands in County Leicestershire. Argent a chevron between 3 gridirons sable from the Tudor period or earlier. And lastly, azure 3 martlets or a border of the last charged with 8 chess rooks azure. And if you enjoyed this video, please visit us at coadb.com, link in the description. Thank you very much.